Stories from Upanishads, retold by Arghya Goswami. Hello friends, wishing you all a very happy Dusherra and Subho Bijoya Dashami. I welcome you all to another episode of Stories from Upanishads. Today's interesting story appears in the third Brahmana of first Adhyaya of Bṛhadāraṇyaka Upanishad. In my podcast series, this is the first story from this Upanishad, which is a part of Shukla Yajurveda and believed to be composed between 9th and 6th century BCE. It is one of the Dashopnishads which Adi Shankaracharya provided his Bhasya or commentary. Let's begin today's story. Prajapati or Lord Brahma had two kinds of children, Asuras, the demons, and Devas, the gods. Asuras were influenced by their natural thoughts and actions based only on perception and inference. They were directed merely to the visual ends. The Devas or gods shined under the influence of thoughts and actions taught by the scriptures. Asuras, who were the elder ones, were more in numbers, whereas Devas, the younger ones, were fewer. Asuras were strong, powerful, misguided, selfish, and always willing to show their supremacy over others. Younger siblings, the gods, were generous, helping, lovable, respected all beings, and were wise. The younger siblings were tired of their elder brothers, as they were always wanted to dominate on them by snatching away their belongings, such as heavens. The gods were irritated and annoyed by this behavior of Asuras. Since they were fewer in numbers, they decided to perform a Yagna, a sacrifice called Jyotiṣṭoma, to overcome their troublesome brothers. On the side note, Jyotishṭoma is a form of Vedic sacrifice which literally means praise of light. However, this sacrificial Yagna has different meanings throughout Indian scriptures. The word Jyotish means light and word stoma means sacrifice. However, literal meaning ranges from a Yagna in which soma is offered to a Yagna in which 16 officiating priests are required. For the sake of understanding, let's think it as some kind of large-scale Yagna or sacrifice. Well, coming back to the story, Devas were hell-bent on performing the difficult Jyotiṣṭoma Yagna, but there was an issue. The Yagna required perfect pronunciation and recitation of mantras or chants, which could only be done by a Udghatar, who will act as Udghatri and will sing Udgita. On the side note, let me explain you these terms. As per Apastambha Yagna Paribhasha Sutra, Udghatar is the priest with Samaveda. Hotar priest performs Rig Veda. Advaryu priest performs Yajurveda, and Brahma priest performs all three Vedas. When the priest chants the verses at Yagna, they could ask for gifts or blessings for both Yajmana, the host, and also for themselves. If the chanting was perfect, both would receive the boons and blessings as desired. The gods consulted amongst themselves and debated on the various organs of senses to become their Udghatri as they were pure. They all decided that mouth with the sense of vak or speech should be their Udghatri and sing Udgita during the Yagna. The mouth agreed to participate in this noble motive. Thus the mouth with his speech becomes an Udghatri and begins chanting Udgita for her Yajmana, the gods. She begins to chant Pavamana Abhya Aroha, the chants of purification. The speech chanted, Om Asato Ma Sadagamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Mritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Again, on the side note, this supreme divine Pavamana Abhya Aroha has been hailed as one of the most powerful mantra from the Upanishads. Although different thinkers, philosophers and saints have translated this mantra in different ways, however, the basic meaning still remained the same. Most common and popular meaning states that from falsehood lead me to truth, from darkness lead me to light, from death lead me to immortality. Coming back to the story, the purest chants of Pavamana Abhyaroha filled the air. The atmosphere was pious and pure, and the stage was well set for Jyotiṣṭoma Yagna. The speech chanted Udgita and asked the boon on behalf of her Yajmana, the gods, to bring in the great joy that comes from being able to say things, and for herself, she asked for the ability to say only the things what was pleasant. On completion of the chanting, they received the blessings. Demons, on hearing such purest form of Udgita from speech, were scared. They regrouped together, and one of them exclaimed, "Speech as Udgata and her purest form of Udgita will definitely provide gods with more power. They will eventually overcome us." "We cannot let this happen," they all shouted. They all rushed towards speech and pierced her with evil and pitted her with unpleasantness. That evil is that which consists in saying what is bad. This may be the cause we speak good things mostly and sometimes say awfully bad things. The evil injected into the speech by the demons make us say bad things. This act of demons made the speech impure, and she declined to chant any further and complete the yagna. Gods were in trouble, as now they need to find a new Udghatri for the yagna. They consulted among each other and decided the sense organ nose with the sense of smell to be their new priest. The nose agreed happily to participate in the yagna. She too chanted Udgita perfectly and asked for the gods the great joys that comes from being able to smell. And for herself, she asked for the ability to smell only what is pleasant and agreeable. On completion, they received the boons. Again, as before, demons were in tizzy. They decided to stop smell from being Udghatri. They rushed towards her and pitted her with disagreeable and obnoxious things. This is that evil which consists in smelling what is bad. This made smell to become impure and leave the yagna in the midway. The demons rejoiced. This may be the cause we mostly smell pleasant and agreeable things and sometimes smell awfully obnoxious things. The evil injected into the smell by demons makes us smell disgusting things. Gods went to the next sense organ, the eyes, and its sense, the sight, and requested her to become their priest for the yagna, which she happily agreed to. The eyes recited the Udgita perfectly. She asked for boons and blessings for the gods and the delight that comes from being able to see things. And for herself, she asked to see what is pleasant, beautiful, and agreeable. Demons were scared again. With this beauty-filled Udghatri, the gods' Yagna will be a success. We must stop it at once, said the demons. They rushed towards the sight and indented her with unpleasant, ugly, and evil sights. This is that evil which consists in seeing what is bad and ugly. This may be the cause we see mostly good and agreeable things, but sometimes we see ugly and unpleasant things. The evil injected into the sight by the demons makes us see awful, grisly, and hideous things. Disappointed gods now turn to the next sense organ, the ears, and it sends the hearing to become their priest for the yagna. Ears agreed to become their priest for the noble cause. She recited the Udghatar and asked blessings and boons for the gods, the delight that comes from being able to hear. And for herself, she asked for hearing only what was melodious and harmonious. Disturbed demons told among themselves, with calm and melody, definitely God's yagna will be successful. We must stop hearing at once. They indented her with evil, disharmony, cacophony, and discords. That evil which consists in hearing what is disharmonious, cacophonous, and noise. Now embedded with impurity, hearing left the yagna. This may be the cause we hear melodious, harmonic, and agreeable things mostly, and sometimes we hear noise and cacophony. The evil injected into hearing by the demons makes us hear awful, noisy, and bewailing things. Gods now turned to the mind and requested her to be their priest. The mind readily agreed and recited the Udgita. As a boon, she asked for the gods to whatever delight there is in mind, and for herself, she asked to think well and good. Gods knew nothing is going to stop mind from completing the yagna now. They were happy, but it was short-lived. The demons injected her with evils and bad thoughts. That evil which consists in thinking what is bad, atrocious, and unacceptable. The impure mind left the yagna without completing it. Now gods were left with none other than the life breath, Praana. He agreed to become Udghatar and recite Udgita for them. Without Praana, there would be no gods or asuras, and when he started singing the chants, he asked nothing as boon for himself. Furious asuras said, "With this noble Udghatri, gods will surely overcome us. We must stop it at once." They all rushed at the life breath and tried to pit it with all immorality, corruption, evil, and vices. As they did that, just like a ball of mud when hurled at a rock gets scattered in every direction, when it hits it, the demons perished and scattered in all directions. This is how the gods won and demons were perished. Anyone who understands that the prana, the vital force, is the only pure. There is nothing like impure prana. It is the truest and the purest thing in the body. One who realizes this, meditates on this, crushes the inner demons and rises over with his true self. The gods exclaim that death has carried away the speech, hearing, smell, sight, and mind beyond. Its contact has been made them impure. However, know that death is not attached to prana, the vital force. Prana's purity is conspicuous. The vital force prana took away the death and the evil from the gods beyond the territories where Vedic knowledge is prevalent and left their evils there. The territory is pure and purifies anything which is present in there. It also carried the organs of senses to the beyond along with it. The vital force carried the mouth, the speech across first. This freed speech from evils of death. It was disassociated from the evils. When it was freed, the speech became Agni, the fire. That fire, after being freed from death, shines beyond its reach. When he carried the nose and smell across, it was dissociated from the evils of death, and it became Vayu, the air. That air is, after having transcended from the evils of death, blows beyond its reach. Then the vital force carried the eye or the sight across to the territory prevalent of Vedic knowledge and got rid from the evils of death. It became the sun. That sun, having beaten the evils of death, shines beyond its reach. Then it carried the ear and hearing. When the ear got rid of death, it became the quarters, which after defeating death remain beyond its reach. The death cannot reach it. Then it carried the mind. When it was freed from the clutches of death, it became the moon. This moon, defeating death, shines beyond its reach. So the vital force Prana carries the one who is knowledgeable and aesthetic to the regions where the death cannot reach. As during Jyotiṣṭoma Yogya, all these organs of senses had become Udghatar and had chanted Pavamana for their own sake. The results from this purest form of chanting is shared by all other organs of senses. On the side note, as per the Vedic traditions, the priest who chants the mantras and hymns also get the result of a sacrifice. When the result of a sacrifice was consumed by Prana, the vital force, as it too consumed the results as it sustains the organs of senses and lives in the body. Hence the sense organs which were contaminated with the contact of evil was purified by Prana, the purest vital force. The benefits of chants consumed by Prana, the vital force, also satisfied those organs of senses. The gods asked their Udghatris, the organs of senses, "You all have consumed your share of goodness from the chants of Pavamana Adhyaya. Now we must also have our share." Then Prana said, "Sit around facing me." The gods sat all around Prana facing it. The benefits of chants were also consumed by the gods as it comes through the vital force as it sustains it. Thus all these results come through those who are sustained by the vital force. Friends, that was the story of pure vital force and how it sustains into us. Furthermore, the vital force is also called Ayasya Angirasa. Since it did not assume any particular form, it restored the speech and other organs of senses to their real status. Did we learn anything from this story? I learned we can be in situations which might be evil and unpleasant. It's all up to us how we deal with such situations. Our inner self, our vital force Prana is always pure. We can come out of such situation just believing in ourselves. However bad it is, our vital force Prana holds us, guides us and doesn't allow to detract us. However, there are many who are misguided, caught up in situations which are unpleasant and unfitting. I believe they can still come out of this mess by believing in themselves, ensuring on their vital force Prana. As of now, maybe their organs of senses are overpowered by the evils, but still they can fight back using and believing in their pure Prana, just like the evils of sense organs were smashed like a clod of mud after hitting a hard rock. Friends, please get ready for today's questions. Question 1. What were the two kinds of children of Prajapati who were more in number? Question 2. who all were convinced to become Udghatri in Jyotiṣṭoma Yagna. Question 3. How and which Udghatar defeated the Asuras? Please email me your responses to arghyathinks@gmail.com. That is arghyathinks@gmail.com. I would really love to have your responses soon. I believe you all are enjoying this podcast series. Please download, subscribe, or follow the series in Spotify, Ghana, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and many other podcast catchers. This podcast was created on Hubhopper Studio. If you wish to create your own podcast for free, please visit www.hubhopperstudio.com. Click on the link in the episode description or visit www.hubhopperstudio.com. I'll meet you again in the next episode with another enlightening story from the Upanishad. Please take care, be safe, and until then,